sleep in when you think it's good.
Okay. What could possibly make a man sit in the same place every single day for 3 years? Who was he waiting for? And why did he refuse to leave? For years, people drove past this lonely man in Texas without knowing the heartbreaking story behind his presence. His name was Victor Hubbard, and for 3 years, Victor sat alone in the same spot, watching cars pass by and waiting for someone he believed would eventually return. Nobody knew his story until one woman decided to stop. Her name was Ginger Sprouse. Every morning on her way to work, Ginger would see Victor.
On the way to work every day, I would see this guy standing on the corner, and he was the happiest person I ever saw, but not in a good situation.
He was always there, morning after morning, day after day, and there was something unusual about him. Victor often smiled, but Ginger could tell that there was sadness hiding behind that smile. One day, she couldn't ignore him anymore. She pulled over, got out of her car, and walked toward the stranger she had been seeing for so long. She simply started talking to him. And that small decision opened the door to a story Ginger would never forget. The man's name was Victor Hubbard. He was in his early 30s, and what he told Ginger was heartbreaking. Victor was waiting for his mother. Years earlier, his mother had left, but Victor believed she had promised to come back. So he waited. He returned to the same place where he believed she would find him. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. And Victor still waited. To Victor, it was the place where he believed his mother might return. It was more than a place. It had become a part of his life. Ginger realized that Victor wasn't simply a man sitting on a street. And she couldn't just walk away, so Ginger came back. The next day, she visited him again.
I started visiting with him. I would get a cup of coffee and I would go sit with him right where he was. I mean, for a good 6 months.
She listened to him. She learned about his life. And over the next months, Ginger began to understand the person behind the story. Victor was kind, he was gentle, he was loving, but he was also struggling with mental illness and needed help. Ginger decided she wasn't going to abandon him. She created a Facebook page called This Is Victor and began telling people about his journey. Thousands of people started paying attention. Then Ginger created a GoFundMe campaign to help Victor receive treatment. But she didn't stop there. She cooked meals for him. She washed his clothes. She accompanied him to medical appointments. And eventually, she gave him something that could help him regain his confidence. A job. Ginger owned a cooking school, and she hired Victor to work there. For the first time in a long time, Victor had somewhere to go. People who knew him. People who cared about him. And people who believed that his life could become better. Then the weather started getting colder. Ginger knew Victor couldn't continue living outside, so she and her husband made an extraordinary decision. They invited Victor into their home. A woman who had once been a complete stranger opened her family's